I saw you talking on your stream recently about how I don't know if you want me to talk. I mean, you're talking about his stream, so but like, did that happen? Like, you recently got snaked? What was the story of that?
Yeah, so pretty much my best friend, like second best friend. We're like really close, training in the gym 5 times a week, and really good friends. And he kind of like
that white dude
betrayed. Huh?
That white dude with the blonde white dude with the glasses?
No, not Sam. Not Sam. It'd never be Sam. With the not he's not skinny anymore. He's bulking up. But yeah, not Sam. But like a different guy. We were really close and everything, and he just got this awkward friendship with my ex because me and him go to the gym and she works there, and just. Their friendship just made me fucking uncomfortable, but he's quite like a modern sort of feminine man, so it's like, oh, we're just friends, like. And I never really called him out, and I should have taken responsibility, sat him down and said like, oh no, it makes me uncomfortable, you shouldn't really be close friends with like my ex or anything, but fine. But then I go to Thailand and they get closer, they're posting on their Snapchat story like, hee work out with each other. It still fucking hurts, bro, honestly. And like, so me and the friends I'm with,
so I thought it was your current girl.
No, this is the girl I was dating before I went to Thailand, so I broke up with her when I went to Thailand, telling her like, okay, I'm planning to. You
don't think she's fair game after that?
She 100%. She's allowed to do whatever she wants. She's a free woman, but your best friend should not pursue any woman that you've had interactions with, in my opinion.
That's fair. Yeah.
You think so? Like she's allowed. She even like her pursuing him. It would somewhat, make me uncomfortable, but it's like, okay, yeah, fine. But like, your friend should have loyalty to you forever.
And so how did you find out? What did they end up doing? They were just on Snapchat, or they were actually rumping?
I don't know, bro. I never even wanted to. I kind of like somewhat spoke about it, and he's like, he has a girlfriend and everything. And he's a godly man, and so I don't believe they would have like done anything sexual or anything. Like, he wouldn't have cheated on his girl, and they wouldn't have like had like casual sex or anything. But just their friendship made me uncomfortable. But then when I came back, the dynamics all different. And one time he's just ignoring me and stuff. And I came back and we had like a good time, for a couple of weeks. He's ignoring me and stuff. And then just suddenly he sends me like a massive paragraph like, oh, well, I've never agreed with your views on women, and men aren't superior to women. And like, I'm like, what the fuck is this coming from?
Yeah.
And my other friend told me that he put on Instagram about Andrew Tate saying like, oh, this misogynist should be cancelled, and anyone with these. I'm like, what the fuck? Me and him have had so many conversations, and like we spoke about female promiscuity and everything, and like he's just he's heard something from some girl or maybe from my ex or something, been there, oh, Andrew Tate's a misogynist. And he's just suddenly just started believing it, and then he blamed it on me because I've somewhat talked about Andrew Tate. I gave him the book The Way of the Superior Man, which is literally just a book on masculinity.
Yeah, no, everybody recommends that book.
Man, he read that book title, didn't even read the rest of the book, and then sent me a angry message. Oh, but men aren't superior to women.
He's gone. He's lost.
And this is like, it's just a bad display of character. He's just being a little bitch or something, fine. But speaking about me to my ex, telling her details. Oh yeah, he's sleeping with this girl. He's sleeping with just that. As soon as he said,
snakes.
I looked at him and I was like, wait, did you like? That's fully like violating our brotherhood that we had. And he took note. He looked at me in disgust and went, oh, but it's your fault because you introduced us to each other 6 months ago.
Okay, yeah, just a snake, bro. You cut him off, right?
Yeah, blocked him of everything, bro.
Okay, good. You talk a lot about feminine nature, and so you would say that's acting feminine, right?
Yeah.
I'm curious to how people talk about me a lot. They say like, he's too emotional to be like advocating for masculinity. How much emotion can you show without being called feminine? Because when I do it on stream, I think like, bro, like, what do you want me to, you don't want me to show emotion? Isn't that what's entertaining? If I'm like here yelling and spazzing and crying and like falling off my chair and stuff like that, that's a show. Like, I don't understand why people consider that. Or I want to hear your take on acting emotional as a man.
No, that's a really good question, and I totally agree with. I've thought about this over the last few days as well. You have a business benefit and even a practical purpose benefit to be emotional, because the more emotional you are right now, the more viral your content will get. So it's actually like, in a weird way, it's actually more masculine for you to be emotional right now because it fulfills your purpose. Yeah, because one, you make money, but also you fulfill your purpose, and everything compounds. So it's actually more purposeful for you to do that, because this is just the skill of live streaming. Let's say we're not talking about me and you, we're talking about like an average guy. How much emotion should he show? He should first understand that he's gonna feel these emotions. Feeling the emotion inside of you is not the problem, and you can't ever run away from that. And Andrew Tate speaks about this. Like, you're supposed to feel this kind of feeling almost as if it's a thermostat. So, you know, a lot of guys feel depressed and they kind of don't really do anything about it. They hold their hands up, oh, I'm depressed, but they don't realize like your feeling is literally just a thermostat to tell you, okay, whatever you've been doing recently has led you to feel like this. If you don't feel amazing, then you need to change what you're doing. The fact that you, for example, you drastically changed your life up in the last few months. I called you out on things like smoking weed and stuff, and it would have made you feel a little bit like negative. Like if you felt absolutely fine with it. It's a choice
for a man. I think like women get emotional and then they kind of just like act based on whatever that emotion is. They don't really have control over it. It's harder to control it. They can't control it, but they're like, meh, and then they need to get over it. You made me emotional with that video, but it's like I could choose to be sad about it or I can be angry, and this shit made me angry. And I'm like, let me turn up more. Let me prove you wrong. But people will not call that feminine, even though that's basically acting an emotion. Angry is an emotion. That's why I don't get I hear that from you a lot. I don't get the comparison. In my comment section is like, he needs to be more stoic. Like, why are you watching me to watch someone just be this the whole time? Like, Wyatt, I don't get it. I still don't understand.
Yeah, it's tricky because you're not in a normal circumstance right now. When people watch you, they kind of assume, okay, well, this is, you know, how we should be acting 24/7. But it makes sense for you to be more emotional and more loud on camera. And rather, if you're stoic on camera, it's kind of like boring. If like, you know, me and you were beefing right now and I was just sat here just unemotional about it, it wouldn't sell. What would sell more, you know, would get more is me and you both shouting and swearing and stuff, because that's going to get more views. So it's worth us to be more emotional and to show that and actually feel that here, and to really show it and even cry on stream and everything, and just be totally like in your emotions here, because that's what people are going to click on. But in the real world, you will feel these emotions, but allowing your actions to be dictated by emotions is way more of a feminine trait. And this is why I end every single video of mine by saying, do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. The majority of guys don't feel like, for example, going to the gym, and then they don't do it. So they had this emotion, this feeling of like, oh, well, I don't want to go to the gym. So they don't go. They don't realize that like you can simply just ignore those emotions. So I think the way to explain it, because we're in this like weird modern day where you can be emotional and it's still masculine. I think the way that every man who's listening to this can take this for their advantage is simply just ask yourself, is showing these emotions right now going to be advantageous for me? The modern world and all these like soy boys that you're criticizing will tell you that showing those emotions to your girlfriend, to these people who will literally view you negatively because of those emotions is a good thing, because you're more of a real man. Bro, fuck that. It sounds toxic masculinity or some shit, bro. You should not be showing weak emotions to people who would use them against you. And the issue is, even as much as a girl loves you, like she can't help but view you as less masculine, and she can't help but lose respect for you. When you're acting like a little bitch, like a pussy, when you're showing loads of emotions and you're like not being disciplined and stoic, she can't help but lose respect for you. She wants you as a rock, especially if she is more of a feminine woman. If she's like way more depolarized and she's way more masculine and stuff, then maybe she'll respect you in a certain sense and she'll look at you as if you're her little boy. But if you want the best, in my opinion, the best dynamic of a woman, you want to always act as if the dynamic is you are the father, she is the daughter. The father can cry. Do you not imagine the wife dies? The father can cry in front of the daughter. He can cry at certain times, but he shouldn't be crying with this underlying assumption that the father should fix his problems.
You want to raise a bitch?
Honestly, that I think that's the correct dynamic. The masculine is the leader.
I think training her, but not raising her. Because then I don't want to be a bitch's daddy.
Why not?
Because then you got to put up with, then like at least see a girl like in a Toys R Us with her dad. I want the toy! And she's jumping up and down. You're like, no, I want her to be able to act on her own too. I want an independent woman. I want to be your daddy when it's time to get a daddy, but not like, bro, like not in the store, not in the restaurant, not when we're out in public. I'd rather have I disagree with that. Chad, WRL on that take. Would you view it like right now, you view a relationship as like a father-daughter thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, what happens when she acts like a child? How do you discipline her when she acts like a child?
To be honest, it's not even happened yet, so it's hard for me to say in this relationship that I'm in right now. If it did happen, I think this the same way that you'd respond to a child who's acting really emotional, you'd understand that they are quite an emotional being, and that we have to almost take a step back from our sort of rational masculine logic and think, well, you know, the answer's right there, just do the X to fix your problem. Whereas a child and a feminine woman almost need to be emotional at certain times, and they need to you just need to change their emotions. You don't need to change their mind. Most men confuse this. So a girl's really upset about something, you know, oh, you didn't do this, you were supposed to call me at 6 p.m. but you didn't do this. Most guys will try and change her mind through logic, because they'll incorrectly assume that she has like a masculine brain. So they'll say to her like, oh no, but you know, like here's a rational explanation.
I see what you're saying. It's masculine guidance, but you wording it like that just makes me feel like this is weird. But the chat was like 50-50, but I see the point you're making. making. But then if you go with that philosophy, then you got to put up with her when she's acting like a kid. And I just don't tolerate that shit.
Well, there's the second dynamic. So there's this kind of two dynamics you can have in a relationship, right? So it can be the father-daughter dynamic, or what you're seeing way more often now, especially in the West, is the mother-son dynamic. Generally, this is really the dynamic that you'll always see. It's the father-daughter, where the man is leading and the woman is submissive, and she's kind of like so totally receptive to his leadership and his guidance that she cares so much about what he says, what he does, that she totally trusts him. Or the opposite of that is that she is the mother role and you are the son. And I'm not looking at your chat right now, but like if the boys want to spam whichever one they'd rather have, would you rather have you as acting more of the father, the leader, the guider, and she's more of the daughter that you're like almost not so much looking after, because of course she's still an adult, but that's the more of the dynamic.
No, I see what you're saying. I think they could. I agree with you too. Like nobody, you need to lead the relationship.